What's up, Facebook land? How are you? It's your girl, Nikki Smith, Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. And I am a little bothered. Let me tell you why I'm bothered. I am bothered because I have been coaching now for years, probably total, maybe about 5 years, formally coaching. I've been informally coaching forever. I have 4 coaching groups, and I'm gonna take y'all to church today, so y'all be with me. Give me some time today. Out of my 4 coaching groups, I have Stretch, Aspire, Build, and now I just started a new coaching group called Beauty in a Box for people who are in suites. Let me tell you, the first thing I ask people when they interview, because you have to interview to sign up for coaching. I just don't let everybody in. But the first thing I ask people when they interview is, why do they think they need a coach? What do you think you need one for? What are you going to do with a coach, right? So when I interview them, I can guarantee you, it's a 90-minute interview. I can guarantee you that 60 of those 90 minutes has to do with money. 60 of those 90 minutes has to do with not being able to get clients, which results in not making money. The owners not being able to get stylists, which results in struggling to pay rent because they're not making money. It's always something. If it's a person that's in a suite, suites are not cheap, especially if you want to be in one of the franchise suites or the high-end suites. And it's always about, I thought it was going to be fine to be in the suite by myself because I was tired of the drama with the other salons or whatever the story is, but the suites are taking all my money. And I'm being generous when I say 60% of the conversation is about money. It's probably more like about 75 minutes of this 90 minutes is about money. So I really started maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. I'm going to give you my story. This one going to be long, so y'all have some time with me today. My story was, I have been a person, I grew up in a household where we didn't have a lot of money. I mean, we went through having to do government assistance, the whole 9 yards. But my mother always had very high standards, meaning she was only going to do government assistance for as long as she needed to be. She was like, I can't deal with folks talking to me like that. So we were on there for a very short time. My mother was always one that believed in living within what she can afford. Now, I'm an only child, so my mother would give her limbs for me, but she still was not into breaking the bank. She still believed that you had to have somewhere to live, that you had to have something to drive. My mother even taught me that I would rather buy, and I'm still this way today. She said, before I buy a used car, y'all know what we talk about, a bucket, that is going to give me problems, and therefore I got to spend a bunch of money into it to keep it fixed, to keep it running, which if it stops, I'm going to have a problem getting to work. I would rather buy the bottom of a brand new car, like something you got manual, something you got to roll up windows. That was her mentality, right? Because she believed money did matter. She believed that. So she raised me with, even not having nothing, she raised me with a very different principle. Let me give you this idea too. Prom season just passed, and I'm not knocking what anybody does for their child for prom season, because when we send ours to prom, we laid her out too, but we laid her out according to what we can afford. Be careful what you're teaching your children. When you have prom and you have a daughter or you have a son and their shoes cost more than your mortgage, or when their dress, or when whatever, the whole prom costs more than your monthly bills, there's a problem with that, guys. I'm sorry, but it's a problem. I believe you can still send a child off. You can still make sure they drive the finest or rent the finest cars. I believe you can still do all of that, and not indirectly, because whether you know it, kids watch more of what you do than what you say. And you are teaching them that it is okay to stretch with stuff that it don't have to be that deep, and put yourself potentially in a hole for the next few months to come, okay? So be careful on even how you teach or raise your children when it comes to this. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Now I'm going to take y'all to church today, because this is what I have learned, and let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna go back and forth with my own life. I have been in cycles of life where I had money at 26 or so, maybe 25. Me and my ex was making stupid money. We were well over $500,000 a year. But guess what, guys? We went broke. I remember rebuilding segments of my life where I got large sums of money, or I went to a show and maybe did 10, 15, 20 grand. But guess what, guys? I didn't do anything productive for the long term with it. I remember getting an opportunity, and I prayed for this. I know God gave me this. God gave me this favor. God put me in a position where I could work somewhere and get paid for helping them and not pay rent for 4 years. Do you know what it means to not pay rent and work and take all your money home and not have to pay for nothing else and walk out the door for 4 years? Now, I'm talking about somebody who was making me in that time period 20 grand a month. So you do the math. For 4 years. At the end of that, nothing. Y'all hear me? So I'm going to teach y'all something that I've learned about storing up and how important it is. And I remember the last time I did that, I said, God, I don't get a check. To all my salon professionals out there, we don't have a promised check. We don't have a check that we get just for showing up. When your life is operating in a way where you have to produce the money, you have to execute how it's going to keep growing, you have to figure out how to expand it, you have to live your life differently. You have to store up. If you do not store up, you may have a drought. And what are you going to do then? So I'm getting ready to break down. I'm going to be going back and forth. I'm not going to assume everybody knows the story of Joseph, right? So I'm going to read it to you because everybody may not know that. I've been churched all my life, but I'm going to read this to you because I want y'all to get this. Listen to me. I got a condensed version of the story of Joseph. Y'all give me a thumbs up and give me some love if you know the story of Joseph. I'm about to take you to church today, okay? For those of you all that don't know the full story of Joseph, just be with me because I'm getting ready to read it, but it's not that long. All right, this is the Bible story of Joseph in the book of Genesis. Joseph is known as one of the most heroic tales of redemption and forgiveness. I'm going to try to read this as fast as I can. Joseph, I'm paraphrasing. Joseph reported having dreams to his brothers. For y'all that know the story and for y'all that don't, I'm about to get you up to speed. Even the stars and the moons bow before him, and they were very jealous of Joseph. Joseph was his father's favorite child. So for y'all out there that got multiple kids, don't lie to everybody and tell them you ain't got no favorite child. Yes, you do. You may not never say it, but you got one that you kind of favor a little more than other ones, okay? In Egypt, the Lord's presence was with Joseph. Oh, no, I'm going back. His brothers, because of this, and I'm trying to get through it quick, sold him into slavery. They tricked him, brought him out to the fields, threw him in a little hole, and actually sold him into slavery. They sold him to Potiphar, the captain of the Pharaoh's guards, right? In Egypt, the Lord's presence with Joseph enabled him to find favor with Potiphar, who was the keeper of the prison. With God's help, Joseph interprets the dreams of the prisoners. I'm skipping some stuff, right? He interprets those dreams. So now, think about it for all y'all that go to psychics and mediums and all this stuff. We're always looking to try to figure out what the future is going to be when you can just plan your future differently. Okay. So he became a favorite with them because he could interpret their dreams. Basically the guardsmen then wanted him to go to Pharaoh. And when he went to Pharaoh, Joseph then interprets the dreams of Pharaoh, which anticipate, listen to what I'm saying, 7 years of plenty. How many of y'all done had that? Y'all like, oh, it was good back in the 80s and the 90s, whenever it was good for you. 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Okay? Pharaoh recognizes Joseph's God-given gift and abilities and prompts the promotion of Joseph to the chief administrator of Egypt, right? I'll turn my light back on here. Shortage of the food in Canaan forces Jacob. Now, this is just fast tracking. What basically happened for some of y'all that do not know this, what happened is the 7 years of famine happened. But the administrator that was over Egypt He was commanded, and he commanded everybody that grew whatever, that any crops, anything you got, we're going to overproduce. So whatever you got to do, make the land more fertile. I don't care what you got to do. And you all can read this whole story for those that don't know it. He commanded them to store up. Don't squander what you have. Don't eat it all up. Don't spend it all on shoes. Don't spend it all on kicking it. You need to store up because the famine is coming, and we ain't got nobody interpreting our dreams. So I'm telling you, you need to store up. So let me see if I can get some light on here. Okay, it's dark. Y'all looking dark to me. All right. So you need to store up. So that's what happened. So when they stored up, they stacked up food, everything that needed to be stacked up. This is what they did. Okay. So this is what now happens. The shortage came now. So now that the shortage is here, the shortage of food in Canaan forces Jacob, which was Joseph's father, to send his sons to buy grains from the Egyptians. Now, you know they ain't want to go over there buying nothing from the Egyptians. Benjamin, his youngest brother, remains at home with Jacob because Jacob was sick. He was ill. So they were in fear of losing him, as he did Joseph, because when Joseph, they lied to their dad, told their dad that Joseph got lost or got killed. I actually forgot that part of the story, but they told the father that Joseph was just gone. He wasn't coming back no more. So the father fell ill. And the father, because he loved Joseph was really his favorite son. So the father now was ill. The brothers got to go to Egypt to get some food. It's a famine. They don't have anything. When Joseph finally encounters his brother again, he deliberately conceals his identity. He didn't want to let the brothers know who he was because they threw him in a hole. They thought he was dead. He accuses them of being spies and tells them to return to Benjamin or he will not sell them any grain. The ongoing famine forces Jacob to reluctantly send them jokers back, meaning it's bad. And some of us been in them situations where even when you got pride issues and you don't want to ask for help and you don't want to get people who will help you, sometimes you got to go back to them, ask them again, or sometimes you got to ask them. You may have to be real nice about it, but famine happens for real, guys. So he sent the brothers back to go to basically beg to be able to get some food because they're starving. And I'm trying to paraphrase. Joseph tests the character of his brothers by placing a silver cup, the sack of Benjamin, and falsely accusing him of theft. When Judah offers to stay in place of Benjamin, Joseph knows that his character has changed because Judah was really the craziest side of the brother. But see, they hungry now. So it's like, look, whatever. I'll stay here instead of him. I'll be the one you accuse instead of him. Joseph knows that his character has changed. And then he decides to reveal that he is their brother that they thought they killed, left him in a hole. Joseph explains that they need not feel guilty for betraying him as it was God's plan for him to be in Egypt to preserve them. He told them to bring their father and the entire household to Egypt to live in the province of Goshen. Because there were 5 more years of famine left, he wanted to protect them, to save them. Joseph supplied Egyptian transport wagons, new garments, silver, 20 additional donkeys, carrying provisions for the journey. Jacob was joyously reunited with his son Joseph, and the story is happily ever after. Okay? Let me talk to you all about something. I love that story. I saw one of you all on here say you love that story. That is literally one of my favorite stories or parables in the Bible. Let me tell you where we mess up. And the reason why every time I talk to y'all is got something to do with money or lack thereof. Every time is because all of us have had cycles of life where it was good and we decided to just spend and splurge and kick it and buy stuff we don't need, we can't afford. This is what we decided to do with that extra. Extra, I'm telling y'all, we don't get a check. I have squandered many opportunities. And I said, the last time, I got to take the seatbelt off, I didn't get hot. The last time I got out of that and God said, I have blessed you and given you favor in areas so that you can get ahead. But God can't make me spend my money on the right stuff. He gives me free will the same way he gives you. So I said, okay, God, let me tell you, this is the stuff that I did. I didn't want to forget nothing. When that happened to me for the 15th time, and God said, okay, I'm going to store up for you. Look, I got so many phones, y'all. I'm like, which phone is it in? This is the stuff that I did. When I said, okay, God, this last time you didn't bless me, you didn't took me over the hump, you tripled my income, you gave me favor in areas that is just not gonna happen. You know there are some things that happen in your life when you know it's God. I don't care how bad you think you are resourceful, you like, I know God did this. Cause this ain't stuff that happens. Let me tell you what I started to do. This is what I started to do. I'm talking to salon owners, booth renters, suite owners. I don't care what capacity. If you're a school owner, this for you. I started to buy my products in bulk in advance. When I got some extra loot, okay, I'm not going to be where I ain't got color. I ain't got developer. I'm running out to the store trying to buy this. I got this little extra money. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy up gallons of everything. I'm going to buy up enough color. I'm buying stuff that make money, okay? I'm going to store up in these products. This is what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to make sure these 7 years when it's good can actually contradict or actually save me if I fall into 7 years of famine. I don't care how good it is. I've had it good and God snatched it away from me. And it was the best thing that happened to me. But I said, okay, God, I passed that test. I don't want to have to take that test again because you know when you fail a test, you got to take it over, right? I don't want to take that test over again. So give me a new test, but not that one. Let me tell you what else I do. I pay rent or mortgage, whatever you pay, in advance. Pay it up. Pay it for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You mess around, get it where these clients don't call, don't show, just all of a sudden decide to get braids for 3 months, just whatever. Pay up what you gotta pay it anyway, so you might as well pay it up, okay? This the kind of stuff you do to store up. That's what you do. Because money does matter, guys. I'm telling you, everything we cry about in this business is because we ain't got the money to move. You can't move without money. I don't care how much we love doing hair, okay? Then let me tell you what else I started doing. I started investing in classes or shows. If it was something, I know a lot of you all getting into trichology or whatever it is you want to do, cool. You know that course costs $4,000. Don't do payment arrangements. Say, you know what? I ain't gonna do no payment arrangements because I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 10 months. I'm just gonna pay for it. While I got this money, let me just squash it. I know this is gonna help me. This will help me learn something that'll help me be able to have something else in my arsenal so I can store up for if times get bad. If famine happens, I need to be able to store up and have something that I can boost or inject into my business to make some more money, right? Then this is the big one, y'all. This is the big one. I paid off debt. I got to get real close to the phone on this one. The biggest, I probably should have put that first. God has, I'm going to count them. God has scripture after scripture. The Bible talks about debt 1,000 different ways and what debt does to you mentally. Debt will paralyze you. Take it from somebody that knows what it means to owe $250,000 to various people. Debt will paralyze you. When you got the money, start paying off cars, paying off credit cards. If you got kids in school, I'm telling you, I ain't telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. That's right, Dave Ramsey, EntreLeadership, pay off debt. We don't get a check. You don't have no money coming from nowhere that you can guarantee that's going to come. So when you got it, and this from somebody who squandered it more times than I even care to share, you got to start paying off debt. You got to think debt reduction. Over and pay off your car. If you know how they send you your insurance bill and they say, okay, your insurance for 6 months is this, and that. If you got it, pay it up for 6 months. Pay the stuff you know you got to pay. You know you need a car to get to work. You know, I don't care what it is. We have got to start storing up for a potential famine. We have no idea what God's full plans are for our lives. And God will allow us to go through things to test our faith, to test our endurance, to build this muscle. Yes, he will. And some of it may encompass you not having no money to do stuff. This is something, I cannot say this enough. Let me tell y'all something. When I got out of that stupidity of jacking off 4 years of not paying no rent or investing in stuff, taking uncalculated risk, I said, no. That was the number one thing that I said, if I get back in this situation where I got this money, and in my mind it used to be money to blow. No. I ain't blowing it this time. I am going to pay off I don't care, use the snowball effect. I don't care what effect you use. Pay off these credit cards. Pay off, if you got student loans, now we know that's a lot to pay off, but if you got student loans, pay them down. I don't care what it is. Pay off everything that you can while you are in 7 years of just bliss. Pay it down, okay? This is what I started to do. This is also what I started to do. I started adding to my marketing budget. You know what I started doing? I said, you know what? I don't typically do this, but I got 5 people now on straight salary. Now, who knows how long I'm going to be able to keep them on salary. But while I got them on salary and they can do stuff that I don't need to be spending my time doing, and I can keep producing like in fast motion, like let me keep doing stuff to make money, and I'm going to pay y'all so y'all can do stuff to keep things moving so I now can keep making money. So in this cycle, when everything is good, I need to try to counteract any potential famine that could come, because if I have to lay y'all off, I want stuff already in motion. I want the website in motion. I want all the digital stuff in motion. I want the books selling. I want all this stuff moving. So if I have a famine, I have stored up for this time. You got to store up, guys. I'm telling you. There's something else that I did. I upped the savings. You know, you hear many financial planners, many people talk about upping their savings, making sure that, you know, you got, 6 months of bills that you can pay if something happens. Y'all think about that. How many of y'all done had surgery? Anybody had surgery? See, I know what that means. I've had 9 surgeries in my lifetime, all being all the way from 3 weeks to 10 weeks. What do you do when you ain't stored up nothing, not a dime? You ain't got nothing but a bunch of depreciable stuff, clothes, shoes, purses, all this other stuff. And don't get me wrong, I ain't got no problem with none of that. I still like nice stuff, but I spend it and I plan on how I'm going to spend to acquire that stuff. All this spontaneous spending, I'm telling you, it'll take away from that harvest that you need to store up. So if you want to go shopping, fine, go shopping. Get you an account that's a shopping account. Start saving money in it that ain't taken from nothing. When you get to whatever number you trying to get to the shop, I know I don't like cheap stuff. So I know for me, the magic number will probably be about $5,000. Guess what? I'm going to save that money, stack that $5,000 away. When that $5,000 get here, now I'm going to just go blow it. But I've still stored up all the other money to do other things I need to do. I ain't say don't live. I ain't say don't never do no vacations. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you better think about the potential famine. And some of y'all in a famine right now, and some of y'all in this famine where you remember when you had the money and you didn't do what you should have done, and now you coulda, woulda, shoulda, and you like, man, when I had it, I should have did this, I should have did that, but I didn't. So now I'm stuck and got to figure it out, and you're stressed out, and you're selling shops, and you're doing, because sometimes, devil catch you when you're thirsty. You will do some stuff sometimes that's immoral, some stuff that you're ashamed to tell people because you let yourself get in a famine instead of storing up when stuff was good. Let me tell you the last thing. No, 2 things I did. Last thing I did. I started different savings or investment accounts. That's what I did. I started different investment accounts. I had all of this stuff, and then I let it go or stop paying on it. So stuff is going to end up just going into lapse status. I said, no. So I opened IRAs. And I had these things before, but I had let them go because I wasn't doing that when I was doing it. I was out here just doing my thing and looking good and having fun and just paying bills. And I said, no. I started probably 6 investment accounts. Yes, I did. And I put nice sums of money in them. I said, because those are I looked for things that had compound interest. Okay, we talk about that later. I look for things that can produce. I look for things that had short-term, mid-term, and long-term. I look for things that were tax-free. I look for every possible investment. I sat down with people. I said, you know what? Tell me now, I got this money. Now I'm sitting here with this $5,000. Tell me what to do with it, because I don't want to waste it. I'm going to store up for this one. I'm going to do just like Joseph did. I'm going to say, okay, and ain't nobody interpreting my dreams. You know what that's called? That's called wisdom. God gave me the wisdom. I ain't need no Joseph to interpret no dreams for me. God said, I've brought you through enough. And I've given you enough wisdom to understand you don't have no promised money. You know, other than like real estate and stuff like that, you don't have no money that's promised to you. So what you need to do, now I done gave you favor again, and I done set you up again. You better do right with this money. You better sit down and ask whoever you need to ask. You better do whatever you need to do. I don't care if it's $10. If you can invest 5 of it, go put 5 over there. So when this famine, if this famine should happen again, you ain't stressed out, pulling your hair out, just going bananas. I'll never forget what my old pastor, church I used to go to. And he put this in a way, and you know how you hear stuff when you're younger and it don't really register till you get a little older and you see your perspective changes. He said, you got 4 seasons in a year, and you have 4 seasons in your life. And he said, he broke it down into winter, spring, summer, and fall. And he started with the summer. He said the summer is when you young, you ain't got a bunch of responsibilities, you ain't got the stresses on that most people have when they're adults, and you just kicking it. You don't even think about tomorrow. Everything you do when you're young, and I think he put it in like 25 and under. Everything you do when you're young, you just think you got time. I can eat whatever now because I ain't going to gain no weight. Ain't nothing going to happen. I ain't going to get no cancer, even though they say this causes cancer. You don't care. And you kick it. That's your summer. Then he talked about he said that's your spring. No, he said I'm trying to get the age right. Your spring is when you're being nurtured as an adult, nurtured as a teenager. That's how I'm trying to break it up into years. Said that's your spring. That's when you're learning, you're growing, new things are blossoming. That would be like your teenage years. You haven't really stepped all the way out the box because you're still trying to find yourself. He said that was your spring. And I think he said the spring was all the way up to like 24, 25, when that millennial age started, which is like 22, when kids say I'm grown now, even though they still living in your house, right? That's when they say they grown though. Then he talked about when you get to like 25, and I think he gave a spread of like 15 years. He said, till like 35. He said, that's your summer. That's when you could do what you want to do. You don't have to have permission from anybody. So you like, I'm grown. And he said, a lot of mistakes are made. A lot of mistakes I made in that 23, 4, 5 age, all the way to like early 30s, because we're now at the stage where we can do what we want. We can come in when we want. Ain't nobody telling us what to do. You probably got your first apartment. You got this and that. So you trying to figure this thing out. He calls that your summer because it's the fun time when you can do things unregulated. He said, but what happens is you make a lot of mistakes in the summer. He said then in the fall, which is like late 30s, early 40s, or mid 40s, you spend a lot of times in the fall trying to clean it up. You're trying to clean it up. You're trying to clean up everything. You jacked up your credit. You jacked up this. You jacked up that. You're trying to clean up everything that you jacked up in really your summer and and some of us, unfortunately, we got kids doing stuff younger now. That's what's so heartbreaking when a kid commits a crime in their spring when they're supposed to be learning themselves, and now it affects their summer, fall, and winter because now they got something on their record. Now, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes it so heartbreaking to me when I see somebody young who ain't got no business robbing nobody and killing nobody, and nobody does at any age, but y'all get what I'm saying. So here we are now. We're in the fall. And in the fall, if you in the summer going into fall, what do? We try to fix up our houses. We try to get, cause see, we done messed up some stuff. The house falling apart, the gutters hanging, and you know when winter comes, now I'm in Chicago, we got real winter. When winter comes, if you don't get that stuff together that you didn't do, or you messed up in your summer, or you just negated to handle in your summer, the winter gonna be brutal. Your house gonna be flooding, stuff gonna be falling off, you gonna get drafts, you gonna have some problems, okay? And then he talked about your winter. Your winter is where you should be able to hibernate if you choose to. You should be able to say, I'm gonna go to Florida. I'm in Chicago now. I'm gonna go to Florida for the winter because I've stored up. I've stored up in my summer. If I didn't store up in my summer, I saw Aisha, she mentioned Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey uses this analogy of a gazelle, which is the only animal that can outmaneuver, not outrun, but he can outmaneuver a cheetah. A cheetah is the fastest running animal. It can't nothing outrun him, but a gazelle can outrun him. He said when you become gazelle focused, and that's what happened to me. In that fall, because I had jacked up a lot in my summer, I became gazelle focused in my fall. Like, oh no, I'm not going into another winter with this stuff not done. I'm not doing it no more. So I had a 2-year stint where all I saw was storing up. I ain't do 7. In 2 years, I'm going to store up everything I can. So if a famine happen again, it won't matter because I'll be in a position in my winter. I'll be 50 years old in 4 months. I will be in a position in my winter where I will be able to go sit down somewhere and not worry and not be depressed. And if I want to go somewhere where it's warm and kick it, that's what I will be able to do because I'm going to store up right now. Okay, and I'm coming out of that phase. I'm going to store up. Because I understand what it means. And my pastor used to say, this my old pastor church I used to go to. He used to say, be careful what you do in your spring and in your summer. Because don't you deceive yourself and think it can't affect your fall and winter. Yes, it can. It can make the fall and winter so hard. And I remember I used to work 17, 18 hours a day. And I'm not exaggerating. And I remember working those hours, just working. There is no way. That was in my summer. I worked 17, anywhere from 15 to 18 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. There is no way in your fall that you could work that way. There is no way I could do that now. I'm too old for that. I don't have the stamina for that. There is no way in my fall season that I can go back and work like that because I've squandered everything that I had not stored up so that I could embrace or be okay in this famine. So I want to tell y'all, if y'all don't get nothing else that I say, if you are in that cycle where everything is good, I'm getting as close to the phone as I can. I need you to store up. I need you to put whatever. You're going to have to change your value system. You're going to have to stop looking at right now. You're going to have to start saying, I know I'd rather do this right now, but I'm going to take at least some of that. And I'm going to put it somewhere where it's going to work for me later. Because I'm telling you, you don't want to be like Joseph's brothers. They had to come back and get turned away and set up and come back again because they didn't take heed when it was happening. And not only that, let me tell y'all something because I've been there too. For some of y'all that have been betrayed like Joseph. See, I've been betrayed at levels that is unimaginable. I actually told a very good friend of mine last week. We talked, you got those friends you don't talk to all the time, but when you talk to them, it's like no time has passed. I told her because she was in the cycle of life with me when all this drama was going on, and I was being betrayed in ways that was just unbelievable, y'all. I told her, I said, you know what? I am 100% understanding now what God means about loving those that despitefully use you. When I was going through that being betrayed, I not once said a bad word about those people. I not once did anything to hurt them, and I could have. I said, whatever, I'm just going to back on up and I'm going to let God do whatever he got to do. God, I don't understand what's happening here. And I used to say it was a joke. It's a joke now. It wasn't funny then. I used to say, God, if this is a test, could I please have it on paper, right? But let me tell you what I told her happened. Now, this is years ago for me. That stuff way over. I ain't thought no more about it. I ain't mad at nobody. I had two of those people in that cycle. These were two of the most important people in that cycle that broke my heart by them betraying me. These are the two people out of everybody I would not have expected what they did to me. I'd have lost money on it. These two people, I have not talked to either one of them in 10 or more years. They called me on a fluke. Y'all hear what I said? They called me out the blue. I could hear the tears in them. I could hear them crying. I could hear them because now they in the famine. See, they wanted to dog me when I was in the famine and I didn't have nobody to hang on to. But see, now they're in the famine. And let me tell you, and I thank God for being able to put in me what he got. I loved on them and I took care of them just like Joseph did. They called me apologizing and here I am. I'm like, it's water under the bridge. I don't care. I want to help you. I did exactly what Joseph did. And I said, because don't none of that matter. Because I understand the laws of sowing and reaping and stuff that you do. Hey, I don't care if it's me, you gon' pay for that. One way or the other. And I don't sit back and wait on you to pay for it. I let God do what he gonna do. And God said he will make your enemies your footstool. And let me tell y'all something. I got off the phone with them after crying with them over them telling me they sorry for what they did to me. I ain't thought no more about it. I'm consoling them and what they going through. And I said, God, when I got off that phone, I said, God, I thank you. I thank you for giving me the heart and the obedience. And I ain't got no anger. I ain't mad at nobody. I thank you for giving me what you gave Joseph. So that even though what Joseph tell his brothers, don't worry about that. Ain't no need to feel guilty. We good. And not only are we good, I'm going to send for you. And I'm going to take care of you. And I'm going to do whatever is in my power to help you get this monkey off of your back. Because I remember being in that famine. I ain't in the famine no more. Praise God. But I said, God, I'm going to store up though. I'm not going to squander this one. Because I'm too old. I can't go back to working 17 hours. I'm not going back to hustle to get back out of another famine. I'm not doing it. And I need y'all to stop doing it. If you didn't get nothing else from this, just get the fact that when times are good, I need you to store up. I have been asked, when I started this money thing, y'all, I started it and I just learned how to be obedient. I'm a person that loves to share knowledge. Most of you all know that. God said, I want you to share this. I want you to share how you got yourself out of this thing quickly, mind you. I said, okay, so I do that. God gave me the platform. I said, okay, I'm going to talk to you about it. So this is what I did. Let me tell y'all what happened. I was obedient to God and I was doing that knowing your numbers thing. God said, okay, I'm going to increase that. I've gotten 5 invitations out of the country and in this country to be a keynote speaker to people, stylists, landscapers, real estate people, to be able to tell them about what it means when you don't have a check to be able to pull yourself out of a hole, get yourself back on track, learn how to store up, save money. I have been asked to do, that's this year, guys. What is next year? What is in March? They moved it. I have been asked to do that. This thing has taken on a life of its own. I had no idea that this money thing, because I know what it means to be broke and scraping change out your couch, out your chair. I know what it means to have no car before Uber and Lyft was there. I know what it means. And I tell, ain't nobody jacked off no money more than me. Nobody. I spent energy trying to still do stuff I couldn't afford, trying to still look the part. Now, later for that. I'm going to bring it down so that we can get this thing together for real. So what I decided to do, guys, I said, okay, this thing is real. It's taking on a life of its own. I said, I'm going to do a conference, guys. My favorite place in the world is San Juan, Puerto Rico. I've been there 7 times. I got remarried in San Juan on the top of the Sheraton. So I am doing, it's called a money Does Matter Conference. It is in San Juan, Puerto Rico at the brand new, y'all, Hyatt. I think it's a Hyatt Place. It is absolutely beautiful. Right in the middle of Condado. Any of y'all been to San Juan, Puerto Rico? It is on my website as we speak. Go to knowledgebynikki.com. I got payment arrangements. Now it's a cutoff. This ain't gonna, this is not gonna be no 1,000 people. I ain't even looking for that. It is next April 27th and 8th or something like that. Go on knowledgebynikki.com. You'll see it. I said, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I didn't know y'all wanted to know this much about money. See, I would teach you all that. I would teach you how to read a profit and loss statement, how to do cash flow analysis, how to do break-even analysis. There's something called a burn rate. I would teach you how to know about how much products your clients is sucking up. You wondering why your statement from Square or PayPal, your 1099K says you made $350,000, but you ain't seen it. You like, where is my money? And I've done these seminars. People like, I don't know where I made that money. Where is it at? Because I ain't seen it. I'm going to teach you about profit, about gross profit, net profit. I got my guy Ivory. I saw him on there earlier. Ivory go get y'all out of tax debt. Ivory got me out of a whole bunch of tax debt, y'all. I owe Sam some nice money. Ivory got me, Ivory Mims. He's on here. He's going to be there too. He's going to teach you about proper legal structure, getting yourself out of this tax debt. Because, see, the IRS ain't going nowhere. Big brother ain't going nowhere. Your uncle, he not going nowhere. And let me tell y'all something. When you want to start doing stuff right, and you want to start buying real stuff and stop living under the radar and claim every dime you make, because now you want to do big girl and big boy stuff, buy real property outside of a house, you're going to have to do your stuff right. Let me tell y'all something. I done did everything. I didn't not claim it. Look, when y'all come to the conference, I tell y'all, I don't mind being transparent. I tell y'all, I done shady stuff. I done all that. When God said, no, I want you to do it right, and I'm going to bless you for doing it right and increase what you do. I claim if you give me 1 penny right now, I'm putting it in the system. So-and-so gave me 1 penny. I don't have nothing. I want to pay Sam all that he's due. I got another girl that's going to be there who deals with your investments. She going to teach you how to invest your money, how to put it in tax deferred stuff. You ain't got to pay on it. I'm going to teach you about some of these insurance products. You got to pay insurance anyway. So why not have a return of premium on it where at 65 you can get 30% of all that back? You got to pay it anyway. Might as well get some money back. When I say this conference, I'm going to teach you about retail. When you leave this conference, you are going to know everything about your money. Everything. You hear me? For those of you all that want to get a leg up, at the end of the year, I got 23 seats left for my Salon Owner Strategies Conference that is in Las Vegas. It's also on knowledgebynikki.com. Payment arrangements, all that. If you come to my workshop, all day Saturday, we have workshops. Those are extra. And then we have a vendor day all day Saturday. Then we have all the classes Sunday and Monday. So it's 3 days, y'all. You can actually come to my paid workshop where I do a mini version of knowing your numbers, and you get $100 out of that class. Actually goes towards your deposit for your Money Does Matter conference. So you will already be paid up. So we still got payment arrangements for that. So go on again, knowledgebynikki.com. All that stuff is on there. And I'm telling y'all, you better store up. For those of y'all that may not know the story of Joseph, go to Genesis and read it all, because it's a great parable to be metaphoric to how we live. We have to live differently. Ain't no, if you don't store up, ain't no pension. If you don't store up, ain't no Social Security. If you don't store up, ain't no money coming from nowhere. If you don't put it there, it ain't coming from nowhere. You're not punching the clock where you got somebody matching your money. You don't have that. So you have to think about what you do differently. That even means if you got a business that's too large and it's consuming too much of your money, downsize it then. Downsize your business. That's what you do. Downsize it. Look, I wish I had it here. You know the guy that did Rich Dad Poor Dad? What's his name? Kiyosaki. For those of you all that follow people on YouTube, he has a new book out called Fake. I wish I had it. Oh, you know what? I think it is in the car. Oh, it's in the back, y'all. It's going to be too much for me to get to it. It's called Fake. And in the subtitle, it says, Why the Poor Keeps Getting Poorer. And he talks about living beyond your means, fronting, doing stuff and trying to look the part to people who could care less. And it's called fake. F-A-K-E. I want people who want to live for real. That means if you got to downsize your life, downsize your salon, whatever you got to do, if that's what you got to do so you can store up because you got too much money going out, do it. You ain't no failure. You being wiser. That's what you doing. I don't care if you got to sell your shop right now. You can go get another one. If you got to, I'm here to help restore these salons and help get them out of a hole. But anybody in my culture groups can tell you, oh, I done told a bunch of them, you need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of it. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's redo some stuff. Let's start over. Then we gonna plan to open the salon in about 5 years. But we gonna get you straight first. You ain't got nobody you need to front to. This is what happens because money does matter, guys. So y'all hit me up. Hit me up. Oh, go online if you want to ask me some questions. I got a 1-800 number, 1-800-580-8074. That's my text line if y'all got some questions. Everything. I had my girl at my house for 3 days. The girl that does my website, I'm like, I'm going to fly you here because we going to get this stuff straight. So she got pretty much, I think, everything online for you all to be able to do payment arrangements, everything. But if you have questions, just hit me up, 1-800-580-8074. And just remember, money does matter. All right? Deuces. I'll see y'all later.